Hi everyone, my name is Molly Harrabin, and I'm an early career fellow at the Institute of Advanced Study at the University of Warwick. My PhD thesis, Rethinking Gender and Sexuality in Weimar Cinema, explores how Weimar film reflects the multifaceted and often contradictory nature of gender and sexual identities in Weimar society. Weimar film studies have traditionally focused on male identities in crisis, whilst female characters have often been reduced to oversimplified tropes, most commonly the virgin or vamp. My research challenges this cliched binary by focusing on images of gender and sexuality that exist outside of this dichotomy. The first chapter considers representations of motherhood and reproductive choices, examining how Weimar film negotiated contemporary debates around family, women's social roles, and abortion reform in the aftermath of the First World War. I consider canonical films such as Metropolis, alongside lesser known works like Das Wandelnde Bild, to underscore how traditional gender roles were unsettled by economic hardship and emerging feminist ideas. I also look at films that challenged abortion laws, such as Zionkali, and films that instead convey a pro-life message, for example, Kinderseelen klagen euch an. The chapter therefore emphasizes that moving beyond the virgin-vamp dichotomy is vital to developing a more nuanced understanding of gender and sexuality in Weimar cinema. The second chapter turns to the figure of the Neue Frau. First, I turn my attention to Neue Frauen whose lives are intrinsically connected with modern technologies, such as Fräulein Schröder, a film editor in the seldom acknowledged short film Wenn die Kleberin gebummelt hat. Whilst the experiences of these figures suggest liberation, I show how such freedoms were still constrained by patriarchal norms and expectations. I also examine the intersection of the Neue Frau with anti-Semitic stereotypes. For example, characters like Lulu in Die Büchse der Pandora embody fantasies of female modernity while simultaneously being entangled with anxieties about decadence, consumerism, and cultural otherness. My analysis therefore reveals how the cultural figure of the modern woman could operate both as a symbol of progress and as a projection screen for exclusionary and reactionary ideologies. My final chapter analyses representations of queerness, race, and disability. By foregrounding overlapping categories of marginalisation in characters like Brunhild in Die Nibelungen, I show how Weimar cinema both reflected and constructed ideas of otherness in this period. Furthermore, I also draw on lesser studied works such as Allein im Urwald to highlight how race and ethnicity intersect with constructions of femininity, showing how fantasies of colonial dominance and exoticism shaped cultural understandings of racialized gender and sexuality in this period. My work is thus situated within ongoing scholarly efforts to reframe film history through a more inclusive and intersectional lens. Archival research is central to this work. I recover and reconstruct lost films such as Fritz Lang's Halbblut through production documents, censor records, and press materials. This allows me to challenge the narrow canon of Weimar cinema, which has long been dominated by a handful of well-known works. Recovering these overlooked histories is vital for constructing a more inclusive and accurate understanding of Weimar cultural production.